Okay, let's get right to the big breaking news. Once again, a special grand jury that investigated efforts by Trump and his allies to overturn the election laws in Georgia says it believes some witnesses committed perjury, and it recommends that prosecutors seek charges. That pretty much is the gist of the report. The parts of the report that were released this morning as ordered by a Superior Court judge here in Fulton County. Fani Willis, the district attorney of Fulton County, has been investigating Trump. She's going to get him. She didn't want any of the report released, but finally agreed to what the Superior Court judge said here. Okay, we'll release the first part, we'll release the last part, and we'll release the part where the grand jury says they feel they've been lied to by certain witnesses. Okay, so that's what was released. It was a 5-page, not a synopsis, but just little bits and pieces. And first of all, I don't know why the judge did it. It doesn't reveal anything. I can understand the breathlessness of the media waiting for this to come out. I felt the same way. Even after we were told, well, there would be no names named and no prosecutions hinted at or indicated would occur. That is still to come. Now, the special grand jury, and this is the thing, this is a special grand jury. This is not like a regular grand jury. The special grand jury did not have the power to issue indictments. That was not the case. This grand jury was impaneled simply to hear from these witnesses. It had subpoena power where people could be brought before this grand jury, and a lot of them were. It's my understanding there were 95 witnesses who were testified, who offered up testimony in this probe by Fani Willis. But it was a special grand jury, and their function is not to issue indictments. There will be a second grand jury impaneled, which will just be a regular grand jury, before which the district attorney, Fani Willis, will present the evidence that was collected, witness testimony from the special grand jury. See how it works? The wheels of justice turn very slow, don't they? Anyway, the special panel recommended that the district attorney, quote, seek appropriate indictments for such crimes where the evidence is compelling, end quote, where it concerned the perjurious testimony that some of these bastards provided. And in addition to the section of perjury, the report's introduction and conclusion were released, but any recommendations on potential criminal charges are going to remain under wraps for now. When Fani Willis is ready to release the information, she will do so, and it will be at her decision. She is the prosecutor of Fulton County where this crime occurred. So Fani Willis will make that determination. And despite the Orange Vomits screaming and kicking his little teeny feet and his bullshit attitudes about fraud committed in the election here in Georgia, the grand jury, or the special grand jury, found, quote, by unanimous vote, no fraud took place in the Georgia 2020 presidential election that could result in overturning the election, end quote. Jesus, that doesn't matter to Trump. That doesn't matter. But Judge Robert McBurney, who released this little bit of it, I think made it clear in the fact that he released it, that this should put to rest the bullshit claims by the Orange Vomit, which it will not. It will not. I haven't seen Trump's response yet. I know he's responded at some point to news that no fraud had been committed. I don't know what his reaction is. I really don't give a damn. I really don't. Where was I? I said 95 witnesses. I guess it was closer to 75, including Rudy the Bat, Lindsey Graham Cracker, also our Secretary of State here, and the governor. This grand jury, special grand jury, has been seated since May, started receiving evidence in June, yada, 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 yada. So we must wait yet again. You notice this about this criminal bastard Trump? I mean, you and I can look at a situation, can't we? And make a judgment. It may be a snap judgment, but it's a judgment based on our ability to observe, process, and conclude. Don't you think? I mean, that's how I feel when I look at a situation. Somebody jaywalks across the street and is hit by a truck and killed. And if I'm a witness, the cops say, what happened? I can say the person stepped off the curb, jaywalked, was hit by a truck, and is now dead. Okay? I observe, I process, and I conclude. BFD. I mean, isn't it? Okay, so when it concerns Trump, since day one, you, I'm sure, and I, maybe not in every instance have we agreed, but we have been fully aware when this orange bastard commits crimes. We know when he does it. But the wheels of justice creak along very slowly, especially when we're dealing with a former president of the United States who really lost the election but wound up in the Oval Office anyway. Huh? Well, he lost the popular vote, but then so did George W. Bush, huh? Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. The Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.